Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Lucy DeLuna, and I am part of the Igniting Hopes Backland Leadership Academy. I'm the administrator, and this is my first time on YouTube Live, so you probably haven't seen my face before. And with me today, we have the wonderful Emily Tedrow. She is our Year 2 student at BLA Year 2, and
Mhm.
she's an incredible woman of God. And I am so excited to be here today to connect with her. And also, she's got some amazing things to share with us today. So, today we're going to be talking about the pillars, the leadership pillars, the
Mhm.
healthy relationships. So, Emily, first of all, just tell us a bit about you. We'd love to get to know you a bit more.
Okay. Well, yes, I am a BLA Year 2 student. I live in Albany, Oregon, and I am a wife. I'm a mom. I have two adult daughters, and my oldest daughter just graduated with her master's. I'm very proud of her.
Wow.
And I am a pastor. I'm the lead pastor at a church here in Albany called Jesus Pursuit Church. And I've been pastoring here for a long time, but the lead pastor for the last 11 plus years. And, you know, just blazing a trail in Oregon with revival and reformation. And my husband's a contractor. We build homes. We have a passion to bring restoration to our city. And so we do that practically by, building affordable housing and
Mm.
also beautiful custom homes. And he does commercial contracting too. So um, we do that here in Albany. And yeah, I love being a part of BLA.
Mm, wow. Well, you have a lot to talk about then, being a lead pastor and also your husband having such big a big business, you know. So I'm sure that
Mhm.
you've come across a lot of things to strengthen your healthy relationships.
Yes. Yes. So the pillar that I am focusing on this year with Backland Leadership Academy is the pillar of healthy relationships. And it is a big passion of mine. People are a passion of mine. And we have encountered a lot, both through, being married, being parents, being leaders, and being employers, all of that. Um, Healthy relationships are not just a good idea, and they don't just happen um, just by wishing and dreaming and hoping that you have healthy relationships. They come through another pillar that we've been talking about. Actually, all the pillars, they're inner working, but the one of intentionality
Mhm.
is so necessary.
Mhm.
And I think healthy relationships tend to be one of the ones that we put on the back burner and think we'll get to them, or they'll just happen naturally, but they don't happen naturally. You have to work at them.
Yeah.
And when healthy relationships are a culture that you've gone after and you've fought for, um, people are thriving, and it is really that you know culture of heaven on earth. That's that greenhouse environment where people can flourish and thrive when they feel safe, seen, accepted, loved, all of those things. So
Yeah. And one of the things that really you highlighted that really got me was choosing. You have to choose to
you do.
start building with someone and with a healthy relationship, whether it's work or personal, family. It's not easy. Like you said, you have to choose.
Yeah.
Um, I'd love to just hear a little bit more of like the practicalities behind like healthy relationships in family versus even within ministry,
Mhm.
workplace, because ministry is kind of a bit of both sometimes.
Yeah.
So I'd love to just hear a little bit more about what does that look like for you?
Well, honestly, it's been a journey. A little bit of my life is I'm an only child. I'm a pastor's kid. My mom is a teacher. My dad was a pastor. I've been in the thick of ministry since I was a young girl. And, you take relationships, the way you've been nurtured, the way you've experienced life, and you think it's normal, and you bring that into your relationships and the people that you're in relationship with. do the same thing. And
Yeah.
so you have these normals that are oftentimes colliding and they don't jive. And
Yeah.
so my upbringing was, I had two very loving, wonderful, um, affirming parents that, they were both driven, very like accomplished people. And so I had a lot of that internal, they didn't try to give that to me. They didn't try to put that on me. They
Yeah.
loved me dearly, but I was like, oh, when you do good things, you get praise and you get validation and you're accepted and you belong because you're succeeding. And so I just like developed this performance thing at a very young age, and brought that into my relationship. So I had a high level of expectation on myself and a high level of expectation on other people. And
Hmm.
then I was an only child, so I had no checks and balances. It was like all of their eggs were in my basket, and I had no siblings to like, put me in check. So I brought
Siblings
that
will put you in
into,
check.
yeah, you need to learn how to share and be
Yeah.
nice, and that you don't get everything that you want, and I think my folks tried to do a good job of like keeping me, um, I don't know, in that space of humility and just like you don't get everything that you want, but it just happens when you're an only child,
Totally.
and you can just like rule the roost. And so I brought that into my marriage,
Mm.
and that was the first time I'd ever been really checked. Was, now I'm living with this other person and I have to share. Oh my gosh, this is
Full
wild.
time.
Yeah, first time. I didn't know you had to share. Like, you don't get your way every time, so that was a rude awakening for me. And then I had our first child when I was 23 years old. That's another rude awakening. The child needs, you know, nurturing and love. And if she wants to get up in the middle of the night and eat, that's what we do, So um, just, I had a lot of like, check yourself, girl,
Mm.
going on in my relationships. And, you bring who you think you are, and it's great. And then you find out that actually some of your skills that you've had that were working for you in life in this little bubble don't work in another one. And so you have to make a decision, change, get tools,
Yeah.
get some healing, have some self-awareness. So that was the beginning of my journey. I had some good friends in my life that I don't think I was a monster. I think I was like a loving person, but you have to realize that relationships are their work. And the thing that I think that I realized the most is that in order to have healthy relationships, um, you have to have a healthy relationship first and foremost with the Lord. And
Yes.
you have to allow Him to father you and to speak identity over you and tell you what is true first and foremost about yourself, and to see everything through the lens of, I'm a dearly loved child of God. My identity comes from who He is, not what I do. It
Amen.
comes from who He is and who He's made me to be. And out of that, I do. And so when you have that healing place with the Father,
Mhm.
then your lens of life shifts everything, and you start to see not only yourself through the lens of the Father, but then you start to see other people, and you have compassion for other people, and you have compassion for yourself, and you start to love people like the Father. So that was the first big shift that I would say um, started me on a journey of healthy relationships, was the spirit of adoption, if you can believe that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it really does. I mean, the whole along the way, I mean, you're getting triggered, different things, different relationships trigger us in different ways. And it being in a relationship with your other half, like that will bring something in. And then with you were saying with your daughter coming in, that brought in
Mm-hmm.
another level. And we're constantly going to new levels, but it's so important that we do fight for ourselves, our relationship with the Lord, and with other people, because the fruit of that, what comes out of it, not only with our relationship with Jesus, But with loving ourselves and even learning what that means, we then love others better.
Yeah.
Then we start seeing them, like you said, how Jesus sees them. And it just, it is the foundation of building healthy relationships. And that all of that is not easy.
Right. It's well, and I think when you haven't experienced the spirit of adoption, you kind of look at things through the lens of I'm an orphan or a victim mindset. And so the way other people act or treat you or respond to you in a certain situation, or just how they live their life somehow impacts you. And um it it just can make for messier relationships. But when you aren't shifted by the opinions of others and you aren't impacted by other people's behaviors, you can manage your own,
Mhm.
first and foremost. Then um, you can look at situations and circumstances. You can see other people going through chaos and it doesn't affect you, right? And
Right.
so that was, especially being in ministry, that was something that I have had to fight for. And I can't say that I've like arrived or anything. But I'm where I was 20 years ago is not where I am today. And the relational health that we have gone after intentionally is so much farther. And we talk about this all the time in Backland Leadership Academy, that we celebrate progress, not perfection. So I'm not perfect, even though I love perfection.
Yeah.
It's, I would love to be perfect in my relationships. I'm not, but I've grown so much in the last, I've been in ministry for 30 years, and that's crazy. Um,
That's wild.
it's
Amazing.
it's crazy because I'm only 48 years old, but I've been on staff in a church for 30 years. And um, so, yeah, there's been a lot of relationships. There's been a lot of opportunity
Hmm.
to intentionally grow and go after this culture and this pillar.
Yeah. And so even within like the church, as a leader, as a boss,
Right.
you're both of those people. What does healthy relationships look like even within your staff? I'm sure there's a lot of people
Hmm.
listening today or will listen to the recording and they have staff and that they lead. What does that look like? And how do you practically build healthy relationship? What does it look like?
That's a great question. It is a culture that we've really gone after. So, one of the things that I would say as a boss is I have to look at the individuals as individuals.
Mhm.
And my yeah, we have policies and procedures that are for everyone, but I look at each person and their gift mix and who God has made them to be, their challenges that they face, their family dynamics, just all of that. I have an amazing couple on staff here, and they have two young children that are under either 3 and under.
Mhm.
And their dynamic in life, their family dynamic is totally different than our worship pastor who has two adult children, and that's 20 years older.
Right.
So looking at our team and seeing them as people and not commodities,
Mhm.
and loving them and caring for their best and celebrating who they are and wanting to see them succeed and not being threatened by their amazingness. Um, and sometimes the measurables don't happen, but
Mhm.
they matter more.
Mhm.
And sometimes we have to have hard and healthy conversations, where we bring correction, or um, just like something's not right here. This isn't working for me, but
Mhm.
let's talk about it. So I try to not be a person who cares mostly about measurables
Yeah.
only, but about the whole person and the whole community.
Mhm.
And that's hard when you're a driven person and you have things that need to get done. But life isn't like that, like babies get sick right in the middle of a Christmas program that's going to happen. That happened this year, and like you have to go, well, we're going to adapt, and we're going to care more about the people than we do the outcome.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yeah, valuing people and make sure they feel valued means making sure they feel heard. It's not
Yeah.
just, when you're going in to have hard conversations we all have to do with people sometimes.
Yeah.
If we want healthy relationships, we can choose not to. um
Yes.
but having those hard conversations, and it's all about love, and it
Yeah.
really does build something. I feel like there's sometimes a negative connotation around hard conversations, but if you really think about it, it's all about how much we love that person, that we want to
Right.
have this hard conversation with them because we care, and because
Right.
we know that they love us. So let's have this hard conversation. I'm
Right.
sure that comes up a lot with leading in ministry. It's hard conversations, just part of life,
Mhm.
but it's all love,
Yeah. No, that's totally true. And hard conversations don't have to be hard,
Mhm,
especially in a culture where that you're loved at the end of the day, and
mhm,
every conversation that might be uncomfortable is ultimately to bring greater connection and restoration and health,
mhm,
and freedom. And we do have those hard conversations. We also have conversations where I challenge them and say, like, hey, are you giving your best, and are you believing the best about yourself right now? Do you think, like, I see this limiting belief again and again,
yeah,
like, I know there's more in you. What do you think about that? And so sometimes the hard conversation looks like calling someone higher,
mhm,
um, and out of doubt and out of indecision. And just sometimes, when we get tired, sometimes I have to say, hey, this is a culture of healthy relationships. You need to go home, and
yeah,
you need to turn your phone off. You've been doing too much,
mm,
and you need to take your kids out and
yeah.
just check out for a minute. So
Sometimes it starts with us, this healthy relationship,
mhm.
relationship with ourselves. What do we need
Yes.
now?
Hmm. It's true. Like, it was probably 10 years ago that I had someone say to me, when I bring stuff to you, you get defensive, and it's hard to bring stuff to you. And I thought, I got defensive, and I was like, that's not true.
Like, wait a
um,
minute.
right. But I had to go, why am I defensive when someone brings something to me that they need to talk to me about? Like, that's not the environment that I want my team to. I've lived in that environment. I've worked for people in that environment. I've gone to the staff meetings where I can feel the tension in the room, and nobody's really being vulnerable, and nobody's, we're competing with each other. I think lots of environments people have experienced that. And I just, as a leader early in leadership, was like, that is not going to be what I am doing. I
Mhm,
don't want to lead like that. I didn't enjoy being led like that, and I don't want to lead like that. So I don't have the skills or the tools to do this right now. I can't just, this is where the intentionality thing comes back. I need some help. So, I got Danny Silk's The Culture of Honor,
so good.
which is such a beautiful, I mean, it really is about relationships, but Keep Your Love On even goes deeper about relationships. And that was such a mirror for me. And it's so easy when you look at the mirror and you see, like, oh, that isn't aligning with who God has created me to be. And, this is not what the Father says about me. I want to shift this so that I can be a better reflection of who He is to others. And so, um, I did start a journey about 10 years ago, really going after healthy relationships. We also, within our team, had a major, I don't know what you would call it, just being vulnerable. It was kind of a scandal within our community.
Mm,
And we had to go, what does restoration look like here?
mm,
Do we throw people away because they make mistakes? Um, do we fight for redemption and restoration? And even if it doesn't end up looking like what everyone thinks it should with a nice little bow. Like,
Yeah.
how do we stay connected and honor people who have hurt us, betrayed us, different things like that? And so um, we have dove deep as a team and committed to having a culture of healthy relationships and a culture of honor, and one that speaks the truth and believes the best,
Hmm.
and celebrates one another and has each other's backs. You
Hmm.
know, I'm not going to say something about someone in a room when they're not there that I wouldn't want them to hear me say when they're sitting on the couch next to me.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that we have done. Also, um, well, I mean, that's probably one of the biggest things that has shifted, is that we've just been intentional about it.
Hmm.
But also this message of, you know, the spirit of adoption too. I think when you are pointing people to the Father to get their identity and not from what they're doing
Yeah.
only, um, all of our relationships tend to get better, because that's not what we get our affirmation from. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. This is so good. This is such a good conversation. I know that we could talk forever on
Yeah.
this. I would love to know, like, if someone watching this, if they're like, I want healthy relationships in my life. I want more healthy relationships at work or even with the people that are closest to me, which is sometimes the hardest.
Mhm.
What
Yeah.
advice would you give them, yeah, to start the journey of healthy relationships? I know that you've talked about, like, it starts with us and our relationship with the Lord.
Hmm.
But what is that next step? If they've got they're working on the relationship with the Lord, like, what's the next step in building healthy relationships around you, with the ones closest to you?
Yeah. Well, I think a little health check is an important thing to do, you know. One of the things that has been helpful in our environment is just doing weekly updates,
Mm,
which we do also in Backlund Leadership Academy, where we check in with people that we're accountable to,
mhm,
um, and we invite feedback.
mhm,
And I think when you have an environment where feedback is welcomed
mhm,
and received, um, that is a great place to start. Another thing is, you know, I will tout Danny Silk's book all day, about Keep Your Love On and the Culture of Honor. That's so good. Emotionally Healthy Spirituality by Peter Scazzaro is an incredible series that you can dive into. It's very, very practical,
mhm,
and very, very just necessary. The rhythm of a Sabbath rest, you don't realize how important that is in having healthy relationships. But when you don't have one and you start one, you can see. And that's one of the things that he challenges us on in that book, is to observe a Sabbath, whether it's, you
mm,
know, a couple of hours once a week, a couple of minutes every day, or a 24-hour period where you are just dedicating yourself to resting
mhm.
in and enjoying the Lord. Um, you start to have some of your own rhythms come into balance, to where
Yeah.
you can actually hear truth, receive truth, and see a little clearer. Um, but I think inviting feedback, um, especially with people that you trust,
Mhm.
not yes men,
Yeah.
but people that you trust, and just saying, like, how do I come across to you? Are you afraid to share things with me? um, how do you receive feedback from me? And just asking those honest questions. You can also do like a self check, like, do I care about the people in my life? Do I care about their lives more than their measurables and their outcomes?
Mhm.
Am I able to practice honest and healthy communication with them?
Yeah.
Or do I react? Am I defensive? Um, do I explode when, you know, things happen? Do I speak the truth in love? Do I have people that speak the truth in love to me?
Mhm.
Am I somebody who is empowering, or am I threatened? Do I celebrate others, or do I, you know, kind of want to, I don't want them to shine too bright, because that scares me and my. Do we have fun in our, like, there's these little self checks that we can do my do my team, do the people that are in my life, do we enjoy one another? I
Mm,
think that's a really big test. When was the last time we laughed together? When was the last time that we just spent time together where it wasn't work or here's a to-do list?
mhm.
And this is at home too, like how often do we go for a walk and get a
Yeah.
cup of coffee together? Um, those are signs of a healthy relational culture.
Mhm,
When those things are in place and when they're not there, then you can pretty quickly go, I need to make some adjustments.
mhm. Yeah, and connection is so important because it builds
Yeah.
trust.
Yes.
You know, we can have these hard conversations and they're great, but without the connection and trust, they're not always received, or maybe we won't receive it because there's not connection and trust there, you know?
Right.
So I think one of the first things, going to the Lord, asking him, I want a healthy relationship with this person, God. What does that look like? Ask the Father, and
Yeah.
then just start building relationship with them. And like you say, like, when was the last time I had fun with this person? Just
Mm-hmm.
doing that, and then building that trust to then come into these deeper conversations that you can have with them, and ask them for feedback, and if you want to share something, sharing it, because it's all from love, and it is
Yeah.
from connection and relationships. I think a good thing as well when someone's wanting to grow in this is building bringing people into their lives that like mentors
Yeah.
or someone that they look up to speak into this, pour into them, like, how can I
Mm-hmm.
do better with the people? Maybe it's someone who is leading. How can I lead these people better? I need to also be able to be led,
It's
right?
so true.
and and be teachable, right?
Right. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I joined Backlund Leadership Academy was because I recognized I didn't really have a lot of people that I wasn't leading
Hmm.
speaking into my lives
Right.
in my life. I have a board and they challenge me and they say hard things to me, but I'm still leading them,
Yeah.
and I wanted someone that maybe was outside of my immediate sphere.
Hmm.
That and Steve has been one of those people in my life, and it has been so good to be in this environment and see the way that he does relationships. And he models the culture of empowerment like nobody else. He and Wendy do. And so I've grown so much um, in these last 18 months of being with them.
Well,
You're so right, though. You do need mentors to speak into your life.
yeah, absolutely. And you are just such an incredible woman of God, Emily. It's been so nice to have this time with you. But before we finish, is there
Mhm.
anything that you want to release over anyone listening today?
Absolutely. You know, you might be in that spot where you're like, actually, I think I have some work to do in relationships. And I just want to say peace to you. It is so good. Awareness is the first step. And so right now, I just want to just declare over you that you can and you will and you are cultivating healthy relationships in your environment. And the first relationship that I just encourage you right now to look at is yours with the Father. And right now, the Father just wants to pour his love into you and speak his truth of your identity as a dearly loved son or daughter of the King of Kings. And you were absolutely created with intentionality and design and his stamp. He created you in his image and he declares over you, it is good. It is good. And so when we have that relationship, first and foremost, I just pray that. I believe that we are in a Romans 8:19
Mhm.
um, encounter right now that all creation, the Passion Translation says, all the entire universe is standing on tiptoe, yearning for the sons and daughters of God to be revealed. And so I just declare that the sons and daughters of God are being revealed and are being seen, and they're the ones that carry healing and health and wholeness within them and release that to the people that they influence. And I
Amen.
just declare that over you in Jesus' name.
That was
Yeah.
powerful. I received that. I'm
Yes,
sure a
me
lot of
too.
people received that. Yes.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. That was so incredible. If you want to hear more about Backland Leadership Academy, Steve has created such an incredible school, and our leaders, Connie and Melinda. It really is amazing. I've been on the team for about 6 months or 5 months now, and it's blown my mind and changed me. And I'm on. So yeah, if you want any more information, we have an interest form. We'll put that in the description below. And also, we're really excited because this week we are starting Victorious Living course.
Yeah.
It's an incredible course that Steve and Wendy have built together, and that starts this Wednesday. So it's not too late to sign up. So if you want to sign up for that, we'll put the link below in the description as well. But we just pray that you have the most incredible day. This is going to be a great week. We declare that. Amen.
Yes.
It's going to be
Amen.
a great week. And we just pray that you have the best engagement with people around you. Relationships are going to be strengthened and built this week on a strong foundation of Jesus. So we'll see you all soon. God bless.
Bye. Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you. Don't know how to stop the live. I'll get it in a second.